Hi traders, great start to the week for me personally. I did nothing in the Euro session, didn't even have my charts open in the Euro session. I opened my charts in the second half of the US session and saw this. Saw the Dow with a 127 extension. We ploughed up into that 16,030 and started selling. So I followed suit in the last hour. And this is what I saw on the small time frame. I saw that we had a little squirt at the open into 16,030 and then we just sold. We powered up, we sold, up, sold, sold until we couldn't even, in the last hour, we couldn't even get to that resistance level. We just sold at that level there and then came down to support level there. I actually got out of this level here, 950. Okay, so a nice move with a big position. That's what I love. I like high probability trades, and to me this is one of my 4 chart patterns. And my favorite chart pattern is one of my 4 chart patterns is this. This was support. So we broke support, pulled back to what's now resistance, and then we just kept selling. Okay, right, daily charts. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&Ps came up into this 127 extension. We're a little bit tired. This is where the fibs are taken from, this move here. And what I think will happen now is, I think with this reversal bar here, I think we will drop down to Thursday's breakout level, and then if this is still going to hold, we are going to shift up here and then start to move to the upside. Not got a lot of data this week until we get to Wednesday. And here you can see Tuesday, even tomorrow, not got a lot. We've got some, we've got hardly any UK data, just a little bit of Euro data, some not particularly relevant US data. But what is interesting here is this here. This is bond buying. Sorry, I've circled the wrong one. Now, this is stocks and bonds both being bought from overseas and from domestically. So a lot of money coming into these markets. What I tend to find is if the markets are too biased to one side, you tend to get sort of a knee-jerk reaction. Because if you imagine, if you've got a pot of money here, if you've got a finite number of contracts, there's the bin, and you've got a finite number of contracts. This is the pot of the bulls. This is the pot of the bears. If any one of these pots is too full, and the bulls have been loading up, any one of these pots is too full, then there's nobody to buy into the market because everybody's sitting on long. So what happens is markets tend to drop. Number of it shakes out the weak hands, so the pot gets lower, 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 and eventually it gets to a price where people think it's good value, and all the bulls who bail out here start buying back, and then the pot gets full again. Okay, so we're dealing with a futures market, and that's what happens with the futures market is leading these markets. That is what is going on. So Wednesday we have US retail sales. This is Wednesday's the day the first day we get some serious data. We've got UK Monetary Policy Committee votes, not a huge thing, but this core price inflation and retail sales at 1:30 UK time, 8:30 Eastern time. This is the big deal in the market. Okay. and FOMC minutes on 7 p.m. on Wednesday UK time, and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So this and this is what the whole week is all about. So here we are getting bought at the lows. So we've had a dip down to around about the we've had a dip down to 40 area, and now we've got a 30-point bounce. So yeah, the bulls are still there, and the bulls having emptied their pots a little bit, taking some profits. Seeing some bulls just coming in at these low prices into the close. Okay, so this is still a bullish market to me. We just need a little wavering around while there's not much data coming around, and then I think the lows will get bought. So across the markets, we've got a similar story in the pound, and we have a similar story in the euro. However, I mean, we're under this trend line here in the euro. If we start to break 480, I'm only very, very few points away, and start closing under this 422 area. Yeah, this is in trouble. I would see a lot of money coming back into the dollar, and that could present problems for stability in the market. Okay, so I'm not touching the euro at the moment. I'm going to stay flat. I'm not going to stay flat tomorrow. We'll take a few scalps, because this is not. I'm not taking positions here. There's no real short signal in the 60-minute chart on the pound. Actually, having said that, yeah, if we look at the 4 o'clock UK time, the UK shut up shop for the day. We did get something, a reversal bar here. These are the pivot levels I've got marked on these markets. There's your little reversal bar. Got close to this area of resistance and then started to sell. Okay, so any bump up here could see some more selling. This is the area I'm interested in. I'm interested in this weekly pivot. I'm interested in pullbacks right down to this 160.50 area, which is the area I allocated over the weekend. So short term, I don't have a problem with anybody getting short up here. I never have a problem with anybody getting short. I'm going to sit on my hands and wait to see if we can get some moves down to these levels. Pound yen. So look at this, very clinical Fibonacci moves. This is fibs on where are we? This is Friday's high and last week's main pivot area. So we ran into that. We started to close below this trend line, and all we've done is pull back to a pivot area here from last week. So there's the weekly pivot. There's the big 1600. This is what I'd love to see. So I'm just seeing some short-term weakness in these markets because technical selling, absolute technical selling, and there's 159.20 is the major support level on here. We could come all the way down to 160 and maybe dip underneath there before we may get the next leg up towards 165. Is this shortable? Yep, it's shortable. Alright, pull back to, let me see, that will be a pullback to 161.28. Yeah, 161.28 was where we've sold off in the last couple of hours on this. So that is a potential short area there for a move back down to this decent support. Quick look through the markets, other markets, US dollar yen, similar story. We've hit some, come into some resistance areas. That's buyable at 99.40. Euro yen. All these charts are very, very similar. There's the weekly pivot, 432. I think we'll test that hammer, 380. I will be very interested in the euro yen at 380. A lot of resistance up there, so I would like to see those levels. Oil, we've got a contract changeover literally just about to kick in, so I'm interested in this to see if I think we may see 91.50 or even lower. We're still not getting any move up here, but I'm just interested in this 92.85, 92.50 area again to see if we can come down here. So what a good scenario for the bulls would be a move down to this support. We hold, we get a little hammer, and then we'd start to break up and penetrate this, pull back, and then get back to 100. That's just a scenario, it's not a setup. I am just sitting tight on the oil. Right, quick look at the US dollar CAD. So we're seeing some strength. This we're seeing weakness in the dollar pairs, we're seeing strength in the US dollar CAD. And that's tradable, that's a nice chart. Yeah, we start breaking here, start closing above that wedge, we could see 160 again. So the pullback area for me is 104.30. Hang on a second, let me get this right. Yeah, about 104.25. So I would wait for this to come back in to retest this hammer here, and then see if that can kick off to the upside. And gold is weak on the strength of the dollar. So this is not. I was looking to see if this area here could hold. I now think we could come out of this and retest this 1200. We're out of the traditional gold season anyway, which wasn't particularly good this year anyway, and so I would look for that to be shorter. Stocks, I've done a stock scan with the Stock Club. If you want to join the Stock Club, then let me know. And there is a page going up on my website, Trade the Easy Way website, in the next couple of days for that, because we are going to get much more. I'm going to reveal much more about what I'm doing on the stock side, and develop the stock group within Trade the Easy Way. All right. Any questions? Please feedback. Anything you'd like to see on these charts, and I will set up an event for past and present members on my favourite chart patterns, my 4 favourite chart patterns. Alright, look out for that. If you want a trial of the trading room, then please sign up now, because there is lots happening in the near future on that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video and in the trading room. Bye for now.